Hello, this is my review for 2001 film Planet of the Apes, starring Mark Wahlberg, Tim Roth, Michael Clarke Duncan, Charlton Heston, Paul Giamatti, and Helena Bonham Carter. I'm going to start right at the very beginning. I'm just going to start with what I liked, what I disliked, what the positives, what the negatives were. There's a good few positives and then a couple of negatives. I've seen this film about a dozen times or so, I'd say. I like the film overall. I really enjoy it. I've got a bit of a bias in that I just love the concept of the Planet of the Apes films franchise, and I really have enjoyed pretty much all of the Planet of the Apes films. And I just haven't read the book, unfortunately, from 1963, but I'm hoping to read that at some point shortly. I'm going to start at the beginning. The opening logo was pretty cool with like the silhouette of like the apes and like the imagery of the apes, like the best I would say maybe like just like the design of the apes that they'd shown in the opening logo with like the names being shown. That was pretty cool. The monkey training scene was pretty cool. The monkey then getting lost in space, and then Mark Wahlberg going after him to try and retrieve his ape. That was pretty cool. Sort of like established like a bond. They were establishing that like Mark Wahlberg and this monkey, you might say, was like a man and his dog. It's like Mark Wahlberg and this monkey. They've got a bit of a connection, shall we say? Mark Wahlberg lands on the monkey planet. Then Mark Wahlberg encounters humans, and we get to see the supporting actor guy from Blade, the original film from 1998. We get to see him with his daughter, and then a bunch of other humans getting captured. They're trying to escape Tim Roth and Michael Clarke Duncan. And then Michael Clarke Duncan has that great line, "Take your damn dirty hands off me, you damn dirty human." That was pretty cool. We get to see Paul Giamatti introduction, being this sleazy scumbag businessman. He just cares about money. He's not interested in anything else. He's like, these are the scabbiest, stankiest humans I've ever seen. I thought that was a good introduction for Paul Giamatti's character. He then has a character arc in which he sort of has a what you might regard as a crisis of conscience later on in the film, in which he changes his ways slightly. Helena Bonham Carter gets introduced as like a hippies 1960s peace activist, Greenpeace activist, like eco-terrorist kind of person, if you know what I'm trying to say. Like, she's introduced as somebody like that, and I thought she was good. I liked Helena Bonham Carter in this film. We get to see the big guy who's with the big ape, who's with Helena Bonham Carter, who gets angry at Mark Wahlberg when he calls them like all monkeys and says apes, and he puts his hand on his head and points it to the ground, and he has an epic fight at the end with Michael Clarke Duncan. That was pretty cool. You've also got the other two humans who are like the house humans, shall we say, and then we then of course get built up to the point in which Mark Wahlberg takes that dive into like the pond, the river, the lake, and he retrieves the gun and the tracker to find his ship. And then we see them like walking along. They're going past the like what you might what was it? The land in which there's that giant like X. There's a huge big X with like an upside down skeleton, I believe, human skeleton, I think. And then we have them like learn about like Kalima, and with that actually is that's actually for like caution live animals, like Calima. When the apes were developing, they took that and they saw it said Kalima, and then they basically like regarded that as like the sacred holy land, and that was where Mark Wahlberg's ship was. And then he's like confused once they get there of like, he was just here a few days ago, everything was brand new. Like, it's like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years later, Helena Bonham Carter says these ruins are like over 1,000 years old, or like a few thousand years old, or something like that. And then we get that like epic battle in which the humans and the apes have that clash, and Tim Roth is leading his army of apes, and then they clash right up against they clash with the humans, and there's that weird like young kid courage moment in which he's like he has that like triumphant moment sort of, and it was just a bit out of nowhere. They never really built up to it. They never like led up to that moment. They just sort of threw that in there randomly, and it was a bit strange. I wouldn't say it was a massive negative, and I mean I like the kid. He seemed fine, but it was more on the negative than the positive side, shall we say. And thankfully it wasn't too long. It wasn't too much. It was just for like a couple minutes. Just a bit weird, shall we say. And then we'll have like the big engine thing, like trap, in which all the humans are running towards the engine, and they ignite it, and they manage to take out quite a few of the apes in that. And then at the end we see like well the battle, like I was saying, with like Michael Clark Duncan and the older ape guy having that fight, and then we'll have the arrival of Simos, and then like humans and apes working together, and then like Tim Roth's character gets trapped, and then Helena Bonham Carter gets asked to help him, but then he raises her hand and she shows him the burn mark, and then she like locks him in or something, and then he's basically trapped in there, and then Mark Wahlberg manages to take hold of the vessel, the ship, and he flies away, and then he lands on the human planet, and it's like, he comes across the Abraham Lincoln statue, but it's an ape version of the Abraham Lincoln statue. And it was just, they obviously did want to set up for a sequel, maybe even a trilogy, but it never went anywhere. It never went anywhere. We never got a sequel. I would have liked to have seen what would have happened. I like Mark Wahlberg. Overall, I like this film. Tim Burton was the director, and I think it would have been nice to have seen what would have happened, but we never got a continuation of the story. We got Rise of the Planet, we got the reboot, Rise of the Planet of the Apes. We got Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War for the Planet of the Apes, and then this, I think, upcoming next Friday, or was it today? I think it is. I think the release date's today. Actually, I've not been following this too much, but I know it's just on the horizon. The Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is coming. I think it is today. Actually, I don't think it's next Friday. I think it's today, and we've got that film. Hopefully, I'm going to be seeing. It looks all right. And then I'm just going to end it with my overall thoughts. Being it was a pretty great film. I've rewatched it, as I've said, just about like a dozen times. I like the design of the apes. I prefer the CGI for the Matt Reeves trilogy, but the apes design was pretty cool. I think I'd give this film maybe a 6.5 or a 7 out of 10. I love the franchise, and as I've already said, I like Mark Wahlberg. I think I'm just going to end it there. I'm just going to say, if you haven't seen this film, you should check it out. It was Mark Wahlberg, 2001, Planet of the Apes. Pretty great film. Yeah, just going to end it there. But thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time.